Hello, everyone. Welcome to She Boss Talk. I am Shantae Arati, and I am here for a special broadcast. You can ask who the money go. So I'm here to answer any questions that you have regarding any of the federal relief programs. That includes PPP, EIDL, PUA, and the many grant opportunities that are out here that I have been sharing. So a lot of you all have been having a lot of questions and providing your comments, and I've been following up. So I wanted to give an opportunity to come on live to talk about some of these programs, what you can do, what to expect, and then be able to answer some of the questions that you have. I do ask that you do hit that love button as always, that you drop a comment, let me know that you're here, who you are, what programs you have applied for, what status you're at, what monies you've gotten. That would be great. And then also subscribe. And then I would also ask that you do share out this broadcast, because there are literally millions of entrepreneurs and small business owners who need a financial lifeline, right? They are at a point where they may have to close their doors, and we don't want them to have to do that. We want all of the small businesses to be able to survive, and not just survive, but rise and thrive in this pandemic. So we know COVID is on the rise, COVID-19 across the U.S. So we just don't know what's going to happen. So no matter where you are in your business, maybe in the past few months you've been great and you've been doing well, and that's fantastic, but you just don't know about the upcoming months. So I want you to make sure that you're paying close attention to the information that I'm providing today. And then if there are opportunities that you qualify for, do go apply for it, because we're going to need the cash. You need a financial lifeline. And then being able to have those funds to be able to help you to operate your business, to sustain your livelihood, is going to be great, because I've already gotten tons of testimonials. So I'm happy about that. Happy to hear all of you all are getting your relief money and the grants out there, that you're really taking action, and that you're telling your peers and your friends about all these educational videos that I have been providing. And I'm happy to do it because we're in this together. So I'm using my mobile device. So if I look down, I'm trying to see if I have any questions. As always, if some reason you don't comment during the show, I always follow up at the show. If I miss something, I will follow up and definitely respond and answer your questions. I'm just going to start with the Paycheck Protection Program. If you don't already know, that is one of the federal relief programs under the CARES Act that they initiated for entrepreneurs and small businesses. And to qualify for the program, you must have been in business as of February 15, 2020, and have fewer than 500 employees. You can be a nonprofit or for-profit business. You can be a gig worker like an Uber driver or Postmates, rideshare company. You can be an independent contractor or self-employed. So you don't have to have employees for this program, but this is a payroll incentive program to help keep the American people employed. Okay. So this program has still $130 billion available for small business. And the deadline for small business to apply was June 30th. But the Senate, before it expired, they signed a bill. And then yesterday or last night, the House also passed the bill, right? So Senate passed it, House passed it. And really, now it's just a matter of Trump signing it into law, right? So we can expect that applications will soon be opening once we have his signature. But right now, all of the lenders have stopped accepting applications, right, due to that deadline. So now that they have extended the deadline to August the 8th, you all have time to what? Get your money. Okay, this is all about getting your money. There's $130 billion left for you all to be able to apply for the Paycheck Protection Program. 60% needs to be used on payroll, 40% on non-payroll related costs. And if you do that, you're able to apply for forgiveness and get 100% of your PPP loan forgiven. So this is the forgivable loan program. Okay. So if you're approved and funded for $100,000, you have the ability to get $100,000 forgiven. So it really turns into a grant, which what means is free money for you and your business. Okay. And as always, I say, keep this money separate from all your other business transactions, create a separate account for it. And then you want to make sure that you submit your application. You can submit your forgivable loan application as soon as you spend the money. So you don't have to wait, and you have 8 to 24 weeks at the time that you're funded to spend the money, and the deadline to spend it is December the 31st. Okay. So that is business related costs, and there's still an opportunity for you to get partial forgiveness, right? So they extended the loan terms to 5 years, from 3 years to 5 years. And then there is a 1% interest rate on it. So it's still good terms if you don't have it all forgiven. But really, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to have it forgiven. And they created a streamlined, easy application for those more simple loans, right? So those like under 150,000, those from entrepreneurs, solopreneurs that don't have employees. You don't have a lot of the complication as maybe some of the larger businesses do. So again, if you're a nonprofit or for-profit business, if you are an independent contractor, this program is for you. Now, if you're an independent contractor, I will remind you that you can qualify for up to $20,833. If you had a loss on your 2019 taxes, you would not qualify for this program if you're a solopreneur, because they're basing it on your tax returns. Your 2019 tax returns, line 31, which is your net profit. You're going to divide that by 12 and times it by 2.5. And that will tell you what you're going to apply for. If you need assistance applying, I have opened up my schedule. So once the lenders start accepting applications again, feel free, if you need assistance, to book on my calendar. But I have plenty of free videos to walk you through the process that talks about everything that you need to know. But still, after that, some people want more assistance, or maybe want it done for them. So I'm opening up my calendar for that. The information is in the details. All the information that I'll be talking about today, the link to my YouTube channel is in the description. So you can find all the videos on YouTube or on my Facebook fan page. Okay. So it's all there. Whether you are interested in the relief programs or grants, is there. So that is the PPP program, the Paycheck Protection Program. Now I want to talk about EIDL. EIDL is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program that is for same demographic, entrepreneurs, business owners, nonprofits, and for-profits. You must have been operating as of January 31st, 2020. Okay. 500 or less employees. You can be an independent contractor, a gig worker. This one, the loan, it comes when you apply, you're applying for a grant and a loan. Okay. So a lot of you seen you apply and you're getting an automatic deposit of, $1,000 or $5,000. That is the grant, because the SBA is giving grants out $1,000 per employee. So depending on how many employees you have in your company, that is what the amount you're going to get, up to $10,000. So if you're a solopreneur, that means there's a $1,000 grant for you. So I encourage you all, while the portal is open, it doesn't have a date that it closed. It's basically first come, first serve while they have funds. Remember, they ran out of funds a few weeks ago. Okay. And so they had to be refunded. They had to have another bill to fund the program. Then they funded the program, and then they only had it open to agricultural businesses. Then they met with Senate, and Senate told them they needed to open it up to all qualifying businesses. That's what they did. So they've been processing your applications a lot quicker. Okay. So if you have not applied for your the EIDL grant or loan, please do apply. if you get denied, I also have a lot of video instruction videos on what to do as far as filing a reconsideration. Don't just chalk it up, oh, well, I was denied. No, that's the first step in the process. You can file a reconsideration. So if you didn't get your grant or you didn't get your loan, submit a request for a reconsideration to the SBA, telling them, what your circumstances are. Sometimes people are denied on credit. Sometimes maybe you didn't have enough verifiable information. Sometimes it's they based on the information you submitted, they determined there was no economic injury. So you have to be able to show them like why you're applying for this grant, why you need the money, right? Why you need the loan amount and how your business has been impacted. You have to be able to demonstrate that. Did you take a loss? Did you lose clients? Did you lose employees? Did you lose revenue? Did you have a significant decrease? Be able to say, well, 25%, I had a 25% loss in revenue from this period to this period. Just explain those types of things so that they know, and then you can be put back into the pool to qualify for more money. Now, if you were funded and they funded you a loan amount, which they did it to everybody, you can request a reconsideration to get additional funds. Okay. So a lot of you have asked me about, can you get additional funds? Yes, you can. I've had some of you all ask me if you can reject the loan. So you're approved for a loan amount, but you don't necessarily want the loan. Now, it's my advice that if you have a good chunk of a loan, like if it's $1,000, I personally would not take out a loan for $1,000. Okay. But if it's like 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, I would take the loan. If just in case, again, we don't know what's going to happen months down the road. All businesses need to have cash. So even if you hold on to it and you give it back later, at least you have cash available to operate your business. Okay. So I would think twice about just saying, I'm going to just reject this loan, but really think about it, your circumstances, and the possibility that you could need additional funds. You are not penalized should you pay it back early. So if you don't need the money, for some reason you hold on to it and you're like, I want to give it back, you can pay it back. You can give it back without early penalty. So that's the great thing about this program. And the loan is a 30-year term, and the interest rate is 3.75 for profit, 2.75 for nonprofit businesses. So there's been a lot of questions around denials. Again, I have a lot of videos on that, how to file the reconsideration if you need to do that. A lot of questions about you're getting deposits and don't know if it's a grant or the loan. Okay, so if you get a deposit, if you see a $1,000 deposit, most certainly it's the grant, because they're not going to email you and tell you. You're just going to look up one day and see a deposit. And so there's no one way that they're doing it. So some of you are comparing yourselves to other like family members and peers, and some got their loan first, some got the grant first. They're not consistent in how they're doing it. Okay, so you expect anything. Okay, but if you have any questions or need clarification, you can always reach out to the SBA regarding your application. Okay, so regarding the grant and the loan amount, that is the EIDL. So if you have any questions regarding EIDL, again, I do also assist with the EIDL program. I have a lot of, again, step-by-step videos on our channel so that you can take it and run with it. A lot of you are already reporting that you got your grant even same day, right? Now, know that I was one of the early ones back in March. So I've been waiting for a long time. So if you just filed in June, be patient, okay? Be patient because they're working through the process. Understand that they are processing millions of applications, okay? But they have gotten a lot better about it since the early days, okay, back in March. I do want to talk about quickly. Let me just check and see if we have any questions here, because I'm on my mobile device sometimes. Is working. Okay. Let me talk about the pandemic unemployment assistance. program, because some of you still don't know that this program exists, and some of you have asked me to send you links for it. This is another federal program that is available for you. It's the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance. It's run through your state unemployment office. So you want to see if you qualify, and you can be a part-time worker and still qualify for these unemployment benefits, which includes, these are benefits that you normally would not qualify for as a self-employed individual, right? An independent contractor or a gig worker. Okay. You get additional 13 weeks of unemployment, and you get the additional $600 per week of unemployment. That is funded by the federal government. That is soon to expire July 31st, unless they extend it, which they need to extend it. So call on your representatives to do just that, extend those benefits, because there's still millions of people on unemployment, and they cannot be without that extra amount of money. Know that if you applied and were funded for PPP, you must suspend your unemployment. So before you apply for PPP, assess your circumstances. If you're already receiving unemployment, or maybe you're late and they're late processing you, you get your retroactive pay, then you suspend it while you use the funds, and then you can always go back, reapply or go back on unemployment if you should need it. But you cannot be using unemployment money and paycheck protection money, because paycheck protection is payroll, right? That's your owner's compensation. So that's why you cannot be using both at the same time. However, you can be on unemployment and get EIDL, because EIDL serves a different purpose. It has nothing to do with payroll. It's all business. Okay. So you can get that. If you get the advance, that is going to impact your PPP. Okay. Slightly. Okay. What it's going to do is reduce the amount of forgiveness. So say you have $100,000 PPP loan and you have a $10,000 advance. The amount that you can get forgiven for PPP is then $90,000 if you have a $10,000 advance. And so when you apply to all of these different programs, you must report which relief programs that you are already getting or participating in. Okay. Don't get yourself caught up and get in trouble like some of these people are already doing by skirting the law and not operating with integrity. Okay. Do the right thing when nobody is looking, and you'll be good. There's no reason to doctor information, falsify information, say you have businesses that you don't have. You're just going to get in trouble down the line. You don't mess with the government's money, and you're messing with taxpayers' money. So don't do it. Don't do it. There's enough money you could get it the right way. And that's why I'm here, to be able to show you how to do it. Okay, so those are the major relief programs. There's still money available for these programs. There's still billions of dollars available. There's more stimulus coming down the line. We don't know what it looks like. We know what some of the proposals are, but for sure there's going to be some additional stimulus coming down the pipeline. So be prepared for that between this month and next month. Sooner rather than later, Congress. Sooner rather than later, Congress. Okay. So those are the federal relief programs. I wanted to talk a little bit about the grant programs that I have been sharing with you all. It's really important to understand that there are grant opportunities out here, because there are advocates for small business. There's advocates for racial justice, right? Advocates for women entrepreneurs, because there are underrepresented demographics. We already know that minority business, small business, women-owned business. And so we have a lot of people and organizations and companies starting initiatives and putting up millions and billions of dollars to support our businesses. Right? So what does that mean? That means that they're giving away free money in the form of grants. Grants mean you don't have to pay them back. Each grant has its own criteria. Some things are similar, but every one will have its unique differences or requirements that you can expect. Some, depending on the program, require follow-up. You may be requested to provide any promotional content or be available for promotion. That's good for you to put you and your business in the spotlight. So just understand that you need to make sure you review every grant opportunity, see what its criteria is, if you qualify, and if you qualify, apply. And you want to make sure that you're ready. Make sure that you get ready for these programs, because you don't want to miss out on money. You don't want to miss out on it. Make sure that you're adhering to the deadline. Don't wait to the last minute, okay? A lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs specifically, are behind or have not done their taxes. That is going to hinder you if you are trying to get grant money. See, when you're applying for money, any type, grants or invest, you want people to invest in your business, you have to show that you have a legitimate business, right? You're about your business, and that you have fiscal responsibility. So they're going to want to see your financials, whether that's a tax return, whether that is a financial statement that you can easily retrieve from your accounting system, like a profit and loss statement, a balance sheet, a cash flow analysis. One grant just asked, one of my peers asked me about it, a tax form, which is a quarterly tax form that you had to fill out and upload. So whether you have to submit it at the beginning or throughout the process, depending on what steps you get to, eventually they're going to ask you for some of these artifacts, right? They're going to ask you for a bio. They're going to ask you for headshots. They may ask you for some assets, like if you have an author reel, a speaker reel, videos of you teaching or performing. Those are called assets, okay? They're going to ask you, what do you intend to do with the money? You have to have a plan. You have to have a plan. They're going to assess your plan, okay? They're going to ask you, how do you plan to pay it forward? How are you going to impact the world or other businesses with the grant money and with your business? They're going to ask you these questions, so you have to be ready with an answer, okay? And then like I said yesterday, the biggest advice that I could give is to tell your story. Okay, I can't say that enough. You be authentic to who you are and share your story. And that may seem simple, but a lot of people are shy about sharing their story or ashamed about their story. This is no time to be ashamed or shy. Okay, when you're trying to get money and you're competing with thousands or millions of other applicants, you have to have something that is going to compel them to give you money. You have to have something in your application that sets you apart, that says you are outstanding in comparison to everybody else that submitted their information. Okay. And you must follow exactly what they're asking for. So know what they're asking for. Start looking at some of these applications of what they're asking for. Write it down. Make you a little checklist so you can start getting these things in order. So when these grants pop up, it only takes you minutes to get the information, to gather it. I don't spend hours upon hours on grants. I already have the documents available, and I just grab them. I pull them and I upload them to the system. And then when I fill out applications, right, because you're doing it online, and I highly recommend this anyway, just in case something happens with technology, I always answer the questions and copy and paste them to a Word document in my Google Drive. So I have them for reference for later, and I have them as a backup should something with technology go wrong, so I don't have to start back from square one and try to remember what I said. Because I say some good stuff, okay? But I don't want to go back and write it and remember what I said, because sometimes it's just in the moment and you're passionate about it, and it's just right there, and I don't want to have to go figure out and recreate it. So I would offer you those tips. There are literally, there's so many grants out here, but I know on our channel, I have at least 20, okay? They all have deadlines. So you have to be conscious of that. Put it on your schedule. Block off time to apply for some of these grants. Like I said, I've never taken more than 30 minutes. I think I had one yesterday. It was a larger grant. I had to do a video. I just really took my time. I could have did it in 30 minutes, but I just took my time. And I took my time on the video. But really, these grant opportunities, some of them take like 5 minutes, 10 minutes to fill out. Okay. So I would highly recommend for you to stay tuned to our show, where we provide grants on opportunities on a regular basis as they come out. There's some that the time is ticking. I always say they're expiring every day, and the new ones are coming on every day. There's a lot of big companies that have grants coming out. Facebook has one, PepsiCo. So I'm keeping my eyes on them as they make their announcements, and they're getting their programs together. So once they actually officially open up the applications, I can share them with you. And so that's what I do. I apply, I share, and then it's really up to you to take action on those applications. Let me see. I'm trying to see if there's any other questions that people have been asking me. It really goes back to, again, a lot of times people say, and I appreciate this, that you're saying the information I'm giving you is helping you get your business in order because that's what you want to do. You have to be operating your business as a business, not as something part-time side hustle that you don't think about. And let me just say this, just because you have an EIN doesn't mean you're in business. And that doesn't mean that automatically qualifies you for relief or grant programs. You have to substantiate the legitimacy of your business. So if you're saying, oh, I got my EIN 2 years ago, but I never did anything with the business. Well, guess what? If the grant application says that you must be in business for 2 years, they're going to ask for 2 years of tax returns. They're going to ask for 2 years of profit and loss statements. They're going to ask for 2 years of balance sheets. And you have to be able to provide them. And I don't mean just regular tax returns. I mean business tax returns. Okay? So some of you are like, oh, I have my tax return. I'm looking at the tax return. There's no reference of a business. They're looking at your business. You're applying for grants as your business. Now, there are grants out there for individuals, but all of these grants, like right now, are for business, for entrepreneurs. So you have to show that you are in business. You have to show that you have a financial need. You have to show how your business has been impacted. So you have to be able to show these things and then apply. I mean, and there's some really great grants out here. Now, there's also county, city grants, and state grants. Pennsylvania just launched one two days ago. It's a $225 million program where they're giving up to $50,000. Up to $50,000 to small business who meet the criteria. So again, you have to know what the criteria is. Okay? And we have one in Ohio. There's a $10,000 one. I'm just like, wow, Pennsylvania have it good. And I just talked the other day to our Ohio Development Agency in the minority unit on some things I think that they need to change with their program because they're limiting it. And there's a real need. There are literally millions of entrepreneurs and small businesses that are struggling financially that don't know if they're going to keep their doors open. So for anyone to put so many restrictions on these grants, specifically government entities, to put unrealistic restrictions on grants makes no sense to me when you know there's an urgent need for money. 41% of Black-owned businesses have gone out of business. That's too many, 41%. Minority and women businesses, 90% of us didn't even get federal money. So where's our money that we're getting? So that's why I'm on here. So every opportunity that I see to give you a financial lifeline, I'm bringing that opportunity to you. And it's really just up to you to be able to take action and don't hesitate. And I say that because a lot of you all procrastinate and you wait and you delay. And by the time you decide to do it, it's done. The deadline is the deadline. The deadline does not change for you. It literally, and I just saw it happen yesterday with the unfinished business grant. And I put that out there and people were sharing it, right? Some people took action and jumped on it. And guess what? Some people didn't. I'm happy for those that did, because a lot of you are telling me you got to the second round. And if in the second round, you got it as long as you can substantiate and submit your records, right? Let me see if there's any questions out here. I see you all. I see you all out there. Hi, Livette. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Audrey. Okay, you're saying that you referred someone for an EIDL grant. Oh, the link expired. Is it open? It was open last I checked. It was open yesterday. I haven't looked at the portal today, but that's what someone asked me about EIDL. They were like, is there a date? Look, these programs, these government programs are based on funding. When the money runs out, the applications close. They either set a time or the time is set based on the funding. That's what happened the first time. So that's why I say don't wait. When I say apply now, I mean apply now. Even if I tell you for some of the grants, like I just posted yesterday, that the deadline is July 31st, I would not wait till July 31st. I do it as soon as I get it. I would not wait because by then you may or may not get it. It may or may not expire. You may have forgotten about it. And some of these are first come, first serve. Like I said, every one of these grants have a certain criteria. I wish they were all first come, first serve, because I'm always first. I mean, I would get all of them if it was that easy. Yeah. Okay. So I have audience members saying that they're applying for everything they can get their hands on. Yes, you do. And you let them tell you no. Stop counting yourself out saying, oh, I didn't think I would qualify. And you didn't even take the opportunity to look and see what the qualifiers were. You're just assuming you don't qualify. I want somebody to tell me no, and they have to tell me no a lot of times. A lot. And I will go through every hoop and every channel to get what I deserve. When I'm entitled, that's what I did last week and this week with some of these programs that, again, I think that are unfair. And I want to make my voice heard and let them know, like, this is not right and what you're going to do about it. Right? I did that with a large grant because they in error denied me for a system error. And I contacted them and the big company who is sponsoring the grant. They're not administering it. So they hired these larger companies. They hire other like community development companies or organizations, nonprofits to administer the grants. You need to make sure that they're administering them fairly. Okay? Fairly. And these were for minority business, and they didn't do that. So, I won't stop until there's nothing else that all avenues have been exhausted, because I'm not just going to give up on $5,000. I'm not giving up on $5,000, $10,000, whatever it is. Okay. So I would encourage you all to have that mindset. Because some of you will say, oh, well, I was denied for EIDL. Oh, I guess better luck next time. Oh, I'll try something else. And and I'm not sorry. I will get on there and be like, no, it's not. Oh, well, file a reconsideration and get your money. File a reconsideration and get your money. Exhaust all measures until there's nothing left for you to do. And then be patient. Because anytime you're dealing with the government, I've been working with the government for so many years. Anytime you're working with the government, they're slow. They're slow all the time. Okay. So you may have questions. I just don't see the additional questions. So again, I'll follow up after the show. But I hope this has been helpful for you because there, again, like a lot of grants out there, go get them. I don't report often on the county and city and state grants because there's just too many. And basically every city, county, and state has a grant. You have to look into it. Okay. You can simply Google your city, your county, and your state, relief fund grant. You can contact your state agency, your county agency, and ask them, well, what's available for small business? Is there a grant opportunity for entrepreneurs? Can you point me in the right direction? You have to be proactive. You have to take initiative. There's only so much I can do. Okay, so be proactive, take initiative, go after these grants. I just told you about the one in Pennsylvania, and the ones that's waiting, they're gonna miss out. Like my peers, I tag them as soon as I hear about something. Like I tagged Sharice yesterday, and I was behind. I get like on my schedule, and she said, "Oh, I already applied for one. I'm applying for one under my other business." That's another point too. A lot of these grants you cannot apply for multiple businesses. So some of us have multiple businesses, but the grant will tell you if you can or you can't. So the one that just closed yesterday is specifically said you cannot. And if you had two businesses, they will only accept one. They will compare it to the owner. Okay, it's like that for PPP too. EIDL, you can apply for multiple businesses, but again, legitimate businesses is not your contractor and you contract with 10 different people or companies or organizations and you're going to submit 10 applications. No, it does not work like that. Now, if you're a contractor over here and you have a car wash over here and you want to file and you want to submit an EIDL loan grant and loan application for that business, legitimate with the EIN, it's a LLC over here, separate entity, separate bank account, you can do that. And then file as a independent contractor for whatever you're doing over here. You can do that. And you must have separate bank accounts, and the bank account must match either your name, depending on how you apply. So if you're applying as an independent contractor, you're using your name, not a business name. So your account name and your name that you put on the application must match. So a lot of it is coming back as accounts not verified, right? Or you don't have a bank account. You have to have a bank account. Get a business account. Okay? So they're easy to start up. Aslo is a good one. www.aslo.com. And I'll put it in the comments as well. Is a good one to get. But you have to have a bank account. If you're expecting people to deposit thousands of dollars in cash and money, they're going to wire it. So, but your bank account also needs to be accept wire transfers. Okay, because most of the times that most companies are not sending checks. Some do. These are the ones that we're dealing with right now that is usually going to be set up as a wire transfer. So you need a bank account and get a business bank account, because some will require, and most will require that you have that. Okay, so get your business bank account. They're easily set up. You don't need a large deposit. I bank with Huntington. You can find a credit union to bank with. So there's so many options out there for you. And then just go after the money and then report back to me your successes, and then share the information. Sharing is caring. There are millions of businesses that don't know that these programs exist. They don't even know how to apply for them, right? And so I'm so grateful for those of you that are sharing my content and then sending me back these testimonials and success stories that you help save a person's business, that they thought there were no options. So there's millions of business owners that need to know that these programs are available so that they can apply, so that they can get their business in order. Okay. So we want to make sure we stay in business for a very long time. Give us the financial lifeline that we need. Okay. So that's all that I have for today. As usual, I will come back for additional updates that I have. I will circle back for questions. I see the comments out there. I don't see any specific questions that you have, but again, I will circle back as always. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be the boss with amplified impact. Continue to stay in good health, stay safe out there, and continue to help lift each other up. Continue to help lift each other up, because we're in this together. Thank you so much. Have a great day.